This is just an alpha, even a pre-alpha, and I'm bringing this up partly because I would love to get some feedback and advice during lunchtime, and so I actually have about 4 laser questions to sprinkle throughout the talk, or the 5 minutes that we have here. And I thought maybe it was worth showing even in this early stage, partly because I have seen very few examples at this conference of just good old puzzle games. Gnarly, brain-teasing games you kind of level up. And I hope there's still a place for those in the market. I have to show you this demo in a non-optimal order because the UI is so buggy, a little bit buggy, and there's a particular bug where when you grab a block, all the other blocks jump sideways toward it, completely destroying what you made. So therefore, I made this ahead of time. Oh, I see, this is a camera view, all right. And I'll just try to explain the puzzle that I solved, and then I'll go back and show you the rest of the app. I was given a random set of letter blocks and 4 challenge words to try to spell: box, boat, fox, and boots. And so I had to, it was a long process because if you count, say, the number of B's in those words, there are 3 B's, but there are only 2 B blocks. So I had to work a couple different arrangements in order to reuse the B for both box and boat. And same with the O's, and I think maybe the T's were a little scarce also. And the thing had to also stand up because this is a physics simulation with gravity. So this was about a few minutes of very focused play and thinking. So that's a puzzle that I personally enjoyed solving, and what we found so far, our kid testing has been very limited. We'll be doing a bunch more starting next week, but we're getting absorbed in this game as adults. And so that opens up an interesting opportunity for a puzzle game that is played by both kids and adults. Let me just back up where this started. So, oh yeah, so this, oh, I didn't, yeah, too bad. Oh yeah, let's see, did it save one thing? It's supposed to save every construction that I've made. We have a free play mode, of course, and that's where we started from, is, you know, what could you do if you had digital letter blocks, and I don't know, and if you also had a fairly large repository, as we do, of spoken words and images to go with words. So we can recognize words if you spell them, and you can build whatever you want out of them. But the interesting thing that you might want to do is, you know, you're not going to build a big city with these. What could you build? And so what we're focusing on is that you could possibly build more puzzles. I mean, we're going to add some decorative elements, coloring, etc. We have some fun in terms of how you play with the editor. Yeah, there we go. That's just a placeholder. But the key idea is, I think we're going to, so we're introducing a genre of puzzle, a puzzle / artwork. When you make these letters, let me do a play here again, and we'll play the very simplest one. No, not that. I don't completely control this. It has to come down. We'll give it one more shot, and if it doesn't give me the right one, I won't. Okay, this is really suffering. Okay, here we go. So here's an example of a very simple puzzle that, you know, a very young kid can do. Can you spell both ant and nut with these letters? And it has a little bit version of that challenge because there's only one T. When you spell a single word, there's a interim reward of getting a block, which may be useful in the construction. But there I've solved ant and nut. So the usage case that I really want is, certainly for kids to play puzzles like this, not every kid will be into it, but I think some kids will get quite engrossed. And the scenario I want is the kid saying, I made up a puzzle Dad or Mom, I want you to play the puzzle that I made up. So back in the free construction mode, you build some neat little thing with building with words in it, and you save it, and then it can be presented to another user as a puzzle. So kids are making up their own puzzles. Now, in my family, my son plays PvZ, Plants vs. Zombies, and so does my wife. And of course, he's much better at it than her. There's a fair amount of education that goes on. He helps her learn stuff about it, and that works well. I'm looking for the relationship that maybe sometimes a little bit the other way around, that the parents are playing the game at an advanced level with the older kids, and the younger kids are playing at an early level, but still there's this kind of valuable interchange of ideas. So I have a few questions. First of all, could we just use the scale there? Or actually, I'm kind of tired of the scale. Let's use the arch, okay? So from the low end of the arch to the high end of the arch. And I'm never going to ask Dust of Magic because, at least in a month I will, I think the jury's out, right? We have to do this game right, and then it all depends on how we execute. Let me see. A game that can be played by, an educational game that can be played by parents and kids is a great idea. Will work will really work or really won't. And up at the top is heroic pursuit. Oh yeah, we'll work. Yeah. We'll work, we don't. Can work, can't work, heroic but doomed.
I think it's a lot of can work.
There's some hope there, yeah. For the heroically inclined, there's reason for optimism. Okay, all right. Here's my other question. You guys, I'm getting have you got the big, no, all right? The big guys, one more.
This is your feedback.
All right. Holder of laser beam, that's you, right?
Hear me well.
Have some good advice to offer Chris about how to execute this to bring out the magic in this. And many of the, this has to do with, say, the leveling. I think there's a lot to do with the leveling and how we dole out maybe the extra colors in your block palette as you go, other kinds of feedback, structure, simplicity, maybe the sharing structure, maybe the marketing about how to position something that's playable by parents and kids. Holder of laser beam, know something that Chris should know about how to do this right. Or I have no idea what to tell Chris, I'm not going to talk to him.
I think people can give you some advice there, Mike.
So I'm concluding that I will hear from at least 4 people during lunch, and I'll be very grateful for your advice. Thank you.
Thank you.